Hey, Lunacy community. Just a quick note before we get started. This interview was recorded just about a year ago, almost a year ago, and it's with Heidi Feodorov, who is my mother-in-law. She was 94 at the time, and she just passed away on October 14th. It's a really sweet interview. You really get to see a lot of her spunk and her spontaneity and her wits. She had her wits until the day she passed, actually. She was reciting capitals from countries all over the world and most of the states in the U.S., even though she's from Toronto. And really, she's actually from Switzerland originally. So really hope that you enjoy this episode. I think it's great. And thank you so much, Heidi, for being in our lives. Thank you for shining your light on us. And thank you for my wife. Thank you for my wife. We'll miss you. And we love you. On with the show.
I am Jeff Ado. This is Lunacy, where we discern the sacred from the insane and admit that whether we like it or not, we are all profoundly affected by the cycles of the moon. How? Yeah.
That's you.
That's me.
That's you. Yeah, you can howl.
I can howl.
Yeah, well, in Switzerland they don't howl, they yodel. Yodel. But it's difficult.
Is that okay?
Yeah, they have cuckoo clocks.
Yeah? They have cuckoo clocks?
Yeah, you ever had a cuckoo clock?
I have had a cuckoo clock.
Yeah,
I did actually grow up with a cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo comes out and tells you what time it is.
Tells you what time it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one.
Yeah.
So my guest today is Heidi Adelaide. Is it Adelaide?
Adelaide.
Heidi Adelaide, or Adelaide Heidi Feodorov.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is 94 years old. She is a Swiss immigrant. She is also the mother of my wife, which makes you my mother-in-law.
Yeah, right.
Also known as Mum.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Lunacy.
That's right, Mom.
Are you excited to be here?
Great-grandma.
Great-grandma. Well,
yeah.
Really, you're just Mum.
Mom, yeah, right.
You're a great-grandma to James and...
James.
That's right. I think he's the only one so far. Yeah. So, anyway, thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good. So Heidi, I wanted to talk to you about what it was like growing up in Switzerland, right? Because you grew up in Switzerland and then you moved over here.
On a farm.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what that was like.
Well, it was hard work. You had to go and... Switzerland doesn't have enough ground for the cows to go and tramp around. They have to cut the grass and bring it in.
Okay.
So you have to cut the grass and bring it into the cows to eat.
Okay, yeah.
That's right. And then, you don't have enough ground, so you have to appreciate you don't tramp around.
Right.
But what's different in Switzerland, every town has a little business or something else going on, not just farming. Mm-hmm. Like in my case, our neighborhood, there was a big factory. They made brushes.
Okay.
But they became so big, they make toothbrushes for other companies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, big brushes.
You grew up in Toothbrush Town.
Well, I grew up in a town where you make the brushes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? And then we even had a place where they did some sewing, make some clothes. It just was but that's Switzerland.
Yeah, that's Switzerland.
That's Switzerland.
That's exciting.
They gotta be different.
Yeah, they gotta be different. And did you grow up with how many? You had a bunch of siblings, right? Didn't you have a bunch of brothers and sisters?
I had an older brother.
Okay.
Then my younger brother, he died. Mm-hmm. And then Agnes, my daughter, she became a nun in a convent.
Uh-huh. Agnes was your sister? Agnes was your sister or your...
It's my sister.
Your sister, Agnes, okay.
And then Ottilia, she also became a nun, but she became very famous. She could speak English, and they sent her actually to New Guinea, Papua New Guinea. Yeah?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, She are quite alive.
Uh-huh.
And then when she came back, they wanted to send her to Africa or somewhere, but she got, what's that, malaria or something? Yeah.
Malaria. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah,
In Africa, especially.
But she could speak perfect English, so she joined an American mission, and she went all over the world.
Okay. That's cool.
So she was a very interesting person.
Yeah. Well, you're a very interesting person.
And then my youngest, was sister was Rita.
Rita. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And my youngest brother was Kari.
Okay.
So, but he died. He fell from a haystack right down on a concrete floor, and it was totally he couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he died. So the only one
R.I.P. Carl.
that's still surviving is my sister Agnes. And you know, when they go to a convent, they have to change their name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So she's Senta. So she's still doing fine, yeah.
That's great.
She's doing fine.
So were there 7 of you or 8 of you?
7.
7 of you. Wow, that's a lot.
Within 9 years.
Within 9 years.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's great.
So when I grew up, I had a chance. I mean, my mother says you have to stay home until all the other kids go to school, grown up.
Okay.
And I says, no, I stay home until my next sister, it's going to be her turn.
Uh-huh.
So I had 2 choices. I could either be a maid or I could be a dressmaker.
A maid or a dressmaker?
Yeah, because
not a lot of good options there.
They need somebody to make their clothes.
Yeah, that's true.
They need somebody to clean their house.
You don't just go to Old Navy back then.
So
you know what
I
mean?
says,
you got to make it yourself.
No, not my choice. Not my choice.
Did not want to be a maid or a dressmaker. Nix on the nay.
I need to do something. So I went to the Swiss French part to learn a bit more French. And then I finished there, and I always wanted to be somewhere near a lake or go swimming, but anyhow, I finished there, and then there was a time, I don't know where it was in the government, they were looking for people to go to other countries because there was 2 countries that need more population. One was Australia, and the other one was Canada. So I had a choice. So I says, no, Australia's a bit too far away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to come home too often. So I says, Canada will do.
Okay.
I was working for a family here. You had to go to Canada so you could work in a family. So I worked in this family, and they wanted me to speak French to her daughter. Their daughter needed French. Mm-hmm. So I says, well, that's not suitable. I want somewhere where I have, you know, speak English. There was a company called Office Overload.
Okay.
So whenever, that was before the computer, somebody needed to have an inventory or bills made out, invoices made out.
Yeah.
You could do that. I could do that.
It was like an accounting kind of a firm.
Yeah,
yes?
something like that.
Okay.
And then if you wanted 25 cents more an hour, you have to be able to do ratios. And I could do that, so it was no problem.
You were a smart cookie back then.
Yeah, well,
doing ratios out there with the big boys.
I have to do ratios. I know what ratios. I know what it's all about because for some reason, all my family, they were always good in mathematics.
Okay, you got the math brains.
Yeah, because I used to tell them, don't go into this university to get a BA. Mm-hmm. But it gives you nothing. Yeah. If you're good, if you're a good talker, you go into law or journalism. But if you're good in math, you got to go into engineering.
Okay, engineering. Yeah, go figure. Yeah.
Because There used to be lots of girls said, oh, no, we can't do math. Can't do things like that.
Uh-huh.
So...
But you were like, no, I'm going to do it. I can do math. I'm a ratio whiz.
Well, there you go.
They call me Princess Ratio.
You can do a lot of things.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's not just cooking.
That's true. I could cook. I can play guitar. I can sing.
You can wash the floor.
I'm very good at washing floors.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. That's what I'm known for, actually.
Cleaning windows.
They call him Jeff Floor Washing Ado. That's what they call me. Yeah. That's my big claim to fame.
You grow potatoes?
I grow potatoes in my mind.
Yeah.
They're imaginary potatoes.
Well, listen.
I cook potatoes. I can cook the heck out of potatoes.
Now we have sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, I slay at sweet potatoes.
They're even better than the regular potatoes.
Yeah, and the Canadian sweet potatoes turns out are really delicious. They might be better than American sweet potatoes. And
but the people in Asia, they have rice. We have potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the potato people.
We can't have rice paddies.
No, we can't have rice, but it's not moist enough. You like that word moist? I think that word's funny.
Yeah, we don't want to grow. We grow.
No. So and then did you do your friend's taxes? I heard you did your friend's taxes when you were back in the day.
Oh, yes.
When you were doing your accounting firm, when you were doing for office overload.
I used to do their taxes, but they're going much more complicated now.
Oh, well, now they're way more complicated. Yeah, because they're trying to just take all your money for dumb reasons. Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Just kidding, government. I love you.
In Switzerland, it all depends where you live, how much taxes you pay.
Uh-huh.
Because you didn't pay to the upper government, you paid to the locals, and they hand it up.
Oh,
so
that's interesting.
There were certain places in Switzerland, the rich people here would have their investments over there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right. That's
they
right.
They have their investments over there. But they also have a wealth tax, but they're low rates,
Uh-huh. And now, so you grew up during World War II, didn't you?
Yeah,
And what was that like?
Well, I remember at night you had to have all in the dark because Germany and Italy were together in that war. Mussolini.
Yeah. They
were together in that war.
Mm-hmm.
So the planes would go over at night and you had to have all darkened.
All dark. You had to shut off all of the lights.
So they didn't
put out all the candles.
Any bombs there.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Was that scary?
Well.
Was it scary listening to the planes go overhead
I was
every night?
too young still. Well, the thing in Switzerland, if you went to school, you had to do domestic science. You had to learn how to cook, to sew, and all that. And the boys could do sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to resent that. I would have liked to throw a ball,
Yeah.
We had these ball games. No, you had to.
No balls for the ladies.
No, they had to.
God forbid the ladies play with balls.
Domestic.
That'd be bad news.
The Swiss only had the voting rights, the women, in 1974.
What? That's insane to me. I just don't understand
and
that.
You
think the Swiss people are? I think the Swiss people are progressive because I like the way that they do democracy. It seems right.
We know why.
But wow, that's dumb.
They have to go to vote in Switzerland. The law is any decision they make, the people have to go to vote for it.
I see.
Yeah.
So maybe it was because they didn't want women leave the house every day.
They didn't have women in the government. That all changed.
Yeah.
And you know another thing. If I was married to a foreigner, my kids couldn't get the Swiss citizenship, but if the husband marries a foreigner, they could get the citizenship.
Huh.
So they let me know that I could get my kids the Swiss citizenship. They all could get it.
Oh, I see. So they switched it. So for a long time, if you were a woman and your kids could not get Swiss citizenship, and because they were jerks, and then they changed their mind, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, never mind. If you're a woman, your kids can have Swiss citizenship," which means that I can get my Swiss citizenship, which I'm definitely going to do, because I want to live in one of those weird caves that they have over there.
You see, the Swiss government you know, we don't have a prime minister, a president, or anything, but we have so many departments in the government, and they all take their turns to head it.
Okay.
And could be a woman, it could be a man. It's a confederation.
Now it's a confederation.
Well, it was there. It
was then, but the women weren't allowed.
You know how Switzerland became to exist?
No.
They didn't have a war. Never was in a war.
No.
Everybody wanted to join them. They joined them. I remember people coming from different France, Italy, Germany, did the war. They would come to Switzerland.
They would come to Switzerland to escape the war because Switzerland was neutral.
And
they were like, I'm not doing anything.
That's right. So
back off, man.
They came in there.
Take your guns and get out. You know, go hiking somewhere else.
I remember. But,
they throw potatoes at you.
But, you know, also the Swiss, whenever they have refugees or anybody coming, they don't just sit there and support them. They have to work. We had a guy from Paris.
Okay.
He had to come and work on the farm.
Oh, so it's no free lunch there if you're going to join Switzerland.
No, they had to go. And we had a building, a gymnasium where we do exercises.
Okay.
And they lived in there. They had to live in there.
Oh, they had to live in the gymnasium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
on cots.
And I remember this
Presumably.
guy. I still remember his name. He used to come and work on the farm because he had to work.
What was his name?
André Anglo. And I even went to visit him once in Paris.
Oh, look at you having friends in Paris.
Yeah.
It's very Parisian of you.
Yeah. So, well, I had to take the kids, the boys anyhow, to Paris because they have to see the airport. You know, Paris is a very interesting city.
I haven't been yet. I'm so ashamed to admit that I haven't been to Paris yet. It's really sad that I haven't been to Paris.
The Eiffel Tower. And, you know, the Statue of Liberty.
I've seen that one.
That's a French made that.
Yeah, the French made it.
You know, Swiss is also known for their watch industry.
Yes, you make fantastic watches.
But, you know, who brought that industry to Switzerland? Refugees from France because they had to move because of their religion. You know, at that time, you know, you were not Catholic, you couldn't be in France. So they came over, they were called the Huguenots.
Oh, the Huguenots.
The Huguenots, and they came over, and this is why all these watches are made in the French part.
Oh, because the Huguenots, they lived in the French part of Switzerland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
they started making the watches.
They were the watch experts.
They were the watchmakers.
Yeah. Patek Philippe, Rolex, and all these watches are made in a Swiss French part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the history of the watches.
That's cool.
They were not Swiss people that invented all that stuff. You know, in Switzerland, they have what they call Berufsberater. They advise people what your kids could do.
Okay.
And they saw, except my brother, he was a bit too wild. He has to live in the country. You can't send him to learn in a city or somewhere. So they made him be a carpenter.
Okay.
He should have been an engineer.
He was a Zimmerman.
He should have been, yeah.
Isn't it Zimmerman? It's like one of the only German Swiss words I know is Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, yeah.
Does that right? Zimmerman, yeah. Zimmerman, yeah.
You have to do all the woodwork. You know, everybody needs woodwork then.
For sure.
There we go.
Even today, cabinetry, etc.
Woodwork, yeah.
Woodworking, yeah.
Got to do the woodwork.
So you moved to Canada from Switzerland. You started working for a family. Then you met a man, a handsome man.
They were sending from displaced persons, DPs, displaced persons.
Okay.
They came from other countries and they needed to find a place for them. So they used to could go free to Canada.
Quick post-production note here. Nicholas Feodorov, Heidi's husband, came from Simferopol, Russia, back when it was the USSR.
So in Nick's case, they had to either work on the farm or in the mines.
Oh.
They could come to Canada, but they had to do in those industries.
Oh, wow.
mines or farms.
So Nick, so we're cutting to the Nick is your husband, right?
Yeah. So he came.
Okay.
He came over.
He came over
But they didn't force him to go and work
in the mines.
because he came from Trieste. And then there he learned how to cut meat. So he worked in a butcher place.
Ah, he got to be a butcher.
But then there was a course available. There was a course available. I forgot it was very cheap or free. That you have to learn more electronics and mechanics.
Yeah.
So he passed that.
He was a butcher.
Yeah.
Then he took the electronics course.
Course.
Then he became a TV repairman.
TV and radio. Yeah.
Okay.
TV repairman.
Okay. But back then you were saying that the
At
TVs
that
were...
time, the TVs were this big one, and they got white, and they got...
They weren't flat screens.
Well,
no, they had big tubes.
Well, he wasn't too good, but he had he met... but
Sometimes he would fix them.
But he could speak Italian. Don't forget, he lived in Trieste for so many
Oh,
years.
okay.
So he just didn't function. He couldn't find a place. When I told him, well, you go. He didn't know north, south, east, or west. He said, well, you make a right-hand turn and go. He says, you told me that it was a one-way street. How could I get up there? How could I get up there? You cannot tell me a one-way street, yeah.
That's
Funny.
I think the Russians didn't want their people to move around.
The Russians did not want their people to move around, so they didn't teach them directions.
They wanted to
Stay right
Russia,
there.
Stay right there.
Farm your potatoes.
Do what you're told.
Or whatever.
Do what you're told.
Do what you're told by
That's
God.
right, yeah.
And feed the state. Yeah, I get it. So what was your journey like coming over from Switzerland? Did you come over on a boat?
I first went to England, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes, you have to come by boat, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. And then when I was on the boat, they says, well, you probably like to go to Quebec, you speak French, it's Quebec is like. And I decided, on the way over, I forgot whether to let me off, and I says, no, I want to go to English-speaking country, not to French-speaking country.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So you changed your mind. So you're going over to Canada on the boat.
Yeah.
And they're like, we should take you to Quebec because you speak a French.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I want to speak English.
I never go.
going
I
to
don't
Toronto.
get seasick. That's it.
You don't get seasick?
No.
Wow, that's very unlike your daughter.
No,
Yeah.
I don't get
She
seasick.
gets seasick.
Some people get seasick.
Some people
but,
get seasick.
yeah.
Not you. No, you got an iron stomach.
No.
Should have been a naval officer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you come over on the boat, okay, and then they take you to Quebec. Was
Yeah.
the boat ride? What was the boat ride like? It was like 3 days of just.
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember.
A few days, but.
Okay, it was comfortable.
Oh yeah. I don't have much memory about the boat ride. And
Okay, that's fair. It must have been
just
not
a
so
boat
bad
ride,
then. It's probably comfortable if you don't remember it. I would think. They got snacks.
No, you had to. There was no flying over. You had to go on a boat.
Right.
Right.
No airplanes at that
Gotta
time.
behave. You stay on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
I was working for this rich couple,
Okay.
and then they had a daughter, and they wanted that daughter to speak French.
Uh-huh.
I said to myself, that's ridiculous. And I found a place. There was a lot of people there gathering, young people. So I went to work there, and I could learn English there.
Oh, it was like a school or something? A lot of young
No,
people, you say?
There was a bunch of young people. I forgot. I think they were tourists, a tourist place.
Okay.
It was like, a tourist place.
Uh-huh.
But you originally learned English in England.
England, yeah.
Oh, you learned English. You learned English in England.
England, in
Right,
England,
right,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
right, yeah.
Were you speaking like this then?
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
speaking in an English accent at the
English,
time.
I have to learn English.
Right, lovely. Did you drink tea and eat crumpets?
Yeah, well,
Right, of course you did.
it's-
Yeah, right. Did you
it's
eat
good.
bangers and mash? Did you have some haggis?
No, haggis from
Haggis is terrible.
Scottish.
It's disgusting. Yeah,
It's
it's
special
Scottish.
dish.
Yeah, it's a very special dish.
Well,
Terribleness.
Scottish know how to feed you.
Yeah. Gross. Just going back to Switzerland. Let's go back there again. You grew up. There was no refrigeration.
No refrigerator. You just had to keep stuff cool outdoors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you kept it outdoors.
Was there like a basement? Did you have like a cold cellar when you were a child? Not that you remember.
You had that area under the house, remember, where your father used to keep the mushed?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
kind of under the house.
Right, yeah.
Mushed?
Mushed. It's
What's-
juice. You know what's mushed is? Well, you have apple juice,
Uh-huh.
and then you let it ferment,
Okay.
and it goes into alcohol a bit.
Ah.
It's like cider.
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 Yeah,
cider.
hard cider.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
Yes.
Your dad used to make mushed.
Mushed, yeah.
Mushed. Mushed.
Cider, yeah.
Mushed.
Well, cider, that was
Mish.
for the adults. The kids had it. Okay, so we first made the juice with pears and apples.
Uh-huh.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
And then we had these big flasks, and the guy would come and do something
Okay.
so it doesn't go sour.
Oh,
Sterilize it.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But then we used to get the sweet cider, mushed.
Okay. So
Just-
dad would make sweet cider for the kids and hard
Yeah,
cider for
we
the
had
adults to get
specialists would come around and do it.
specialist. Nice.
Specialist, yeah.
Uh-huh. Good.
Switzerland is totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
I believe it. Lots of cows roaming around. And
Then,
like beautiful fields.
You can't have the cows outside. There's not enough land. They trample too much grass.
Okay.
You have to cut the grass and bring it in.
Uh-huh. To feed the cows.
Yeah, and then when you make hay, you have to cut it and leave it out there to dry, and then big haystack in a barn.
Uh-huh.
Haystack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That was funny.
you didn't have COVID when you had, what were the diseases that you
There
had to
was
deal
no
with?
COVID that time.
Uh-huh. No, good.
That's a totally new invention.
That's a new invention. Well said.
I had to give it a new name.
They did.
Don't
Yeah.
have anything like that.
Uh-huh.
No.
What did they have when you were a child? They had polio?
Polio was the big thing.
Polio was the big thing, yeah.
Polio, yeah.
Uh-huh. Did you get polio?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when polio was around, you people couldn't come to your farm. You had to deliver things. And stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
We didn't want to get exposed to other people that had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like COVID, probably.
Well, they had to give you a needle. I forgot what they had to do.
There was a polio vaccine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Very similar. Did one of your sisters
Well-
get polio?
Well, but my mother was very good in medical. She was always worked for doctors, so she made sure she got the needle.
Oh, okay.
She did, yeah.
Mom had the vaccine.
Yeah, she had to get the vaccine. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, good.
Yeah, polio was the big thing there.
Uh-huh. Was there foot and mouth disease or hoof and foot?
Oh,
foot?
for the
what is it?
animals,
Yeah.
there was
Hoof and mouth disease. Wasn't it hoof and mouth disease?
Yeah, they had that. We had a vet coming in to look after.
Oh, after all the
after
animals.
cows, yeah.
Uh-huh. That's cool.
Yeah, we had the cows, and we had to get. We had this cart, 2-wheel, and then we had a dog in a harness to help you pull that. We had to deliver it to the dairy.
You had a dog that helped you deliver milk to the dairy?
There's a cart,
Uh-huh.
2 wheels,
2 wheels?
and handles,
Uh-huh. Okay.
until you had a dog, because where we live was down, you had to go uptown.
You had to go
You had
up
to
and
go
down and all over the place.
uptown to deliver the milk. We had
Wow.
these cans for the milk, because you have so we had a dairy.
Oh, that's so cool.
The dairies and the dairymen all came from Canton Byrnese. Yeah, there's a big a big farm area.
Okay.
Bernese, yeah.
Cool. Neato.
Emmental. You know, you always have a valley. We have a river called Sure. We have over here in Surental. Those are near Bern. Was the Emmet. The river was so that was Emmental. That's how.
That's where that cheese comes from.
Yeah, because
Also known as Swiss cheese.
Emmet was a river, and this was a valley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And then also chocolate. You guys make the best chocolate.
Well, the chocolate.
Hands down.
The first Lind was called Lindensprungli. And they...
Lindenspigen.
Sprungli.
Sprungli.
Yeah. And they always show you in 1850 they made chocolate. They became chocolate experts.
Chocolatiers.
Yeah, right.
Chocolate masters.
But there was another one that didn't become so famous, and was Cayenne.
Cayenne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another famous chocolate.
Okay. If I become a Swiss citizen, do I get unlimited chocolate?
No, you have to buy it.
That's stupid. I feel like when I become a Swiss citizen, I want unlimited chocolate.
But I want to know something.
Okay.
I had an uncle, and my father had a brother, and he lived in the city of Lucerne. And his name was Alfred. And then he died. His daughter died. His son died. No family member left over. So the Swiss government take over, and they look for all the relatives. You get the money. You got their money.
Yeah.
They actually got in touch with me. I finally told them, if there's any money left over, leave it to my son. He lives in Switzerland.
Wow. They tracked you down to give the money of your relative away. That's awesome.
They make sure the money doesn't go to the wrong place.
I feel like this is where you got your accounting skills from.
That's where
the Swiss keep everything accounted for.
Oh, they're
do. Like the Mormons.
They have the banking secret.
They get the banking secrets.
They have the banking secrets. They had accounts. There's no number but your name. And when the Holocaust was, they had a lot of Jewish. The Jews that lived in Germany didn't like to pay their taxes, because in Switzerland you tax on the not on the income, on your amount of money you have. So they sent it to Switzerland, and they had a whole list. And then at one point, this guy is a Swiss guy. When they had the Holocaust and these people died, they wanted to destroy all this evidence. And they had the Swiss guy, and he was supposed to get rid of it. But he gave it to the Jews. And they found they had money coming there from people that got killed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's interesting.
All changed, yeah.
Quick post-production note here. Heidi is referring to Kristoff Meley, who was a Swiss bank guard who witnessed the illegal shredding of wartime records at Union Bank of Switzerland, UBS, in 1997. He removed the records and gave them to the Swiss-Israeli Cultural Association. Swiss banks settled with Jewish groups and paid $1.25 billion to 458,000 Holocaust victims and their heirs. And now back to our conversation where we talk about the Swiss military tradition.
When you're in Switzerland, if you're male, you have to join the military.
If you're healthy, you have to join it.
And then you go and you do service for like 6 weeks or something?
Training for 6 weeks, and then they got to repeat it every year or so.
Every year?
Every year got to repeat it.
But then did they fight?
Oh, they were hired to guard the Pope.
The Swiss were hired to guard the Pope?
Pope, yeah, special outfits. Yeah, Swiss guard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're never in a war, but they knew how to defend.
They knew how to defend.
You see, during the war, they had to have the militia are on the border. They always thought that the Germans eventually, when they have every other country, they're going to take Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to be very careful guarding the border.
Yeah, interesting.
There's a place in Switzerland near Basel where 3 countries meet.
Okay.
French, Germany, and Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
One country near Basel, the south.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the Rhine. It gets the border quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
And then to the south, we have the Lake Geneva.
Uh-huh.
On the other side is France, yeah.
Okay. So, Heidi, you're 94 years old.
Yeah.
Do you have any secrets to living long?
Well, you just have to stay healthy.
Just have to stay
You have
healthy.
to have a good immune system.
Have to have a good immune system?
Yeah.
Okay. You take supplements and stuff every day?
You know, yeah, but you know, my thing is I don't have stroke. I have osteoporosis.
Uh-huh. You have
So I have to
osteoporosis.
be very careful not to fall.
Okay, right.
That's it.
That's the thing.
Can't fall.
Yeah.
Fall is my worst thing.
Falling is the worst thing. What would you say are your biggest lessons that you've learned in this life?
You have to be nice to everybody.
You have to be nice to everybody.
That's
You
right.
don't want people
Yeah.
to. You don't want to do to people what you
No,
would not
we
them,
don't.
want
We
them to
don't.
do to you. The golden rule.
We don't want this,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to be nice to people. Be nice to
That's
people.
right. Be nice
That's
to people.
from that's from Heidi. Big time. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, right. You don't have to go and protest about other religions and the Muslims and this and that. They're all people.
Everybody just get along. We're all people.
Very good along.
Get over yourselves. All right. You're not that cool. We're all people.
We're all people.
I like it. That's great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Why should you hate somebody for their religion?
I don't know. It's dumb. It's all the same God, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Switzerland is never in a war because what are they going to fight for? For what?
I don't know.
Wasteful.
Yeah.
They should know war has never brought anything good.
War has
Look-
never
look
brought
at
anything
now.
good. Yeah.
Russia and
the Ukraine.
All they do is destroy.
Yeah.
They should have learned by now.
They should have learned by now. Yeah.
Destroying a property is not going to gain anything.
No. Just
No.
gonna make people
And
sad.
they all want money. Because we have to build up again. What we
Yeah.
destroyed, we have to build up again.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. It's all about money. Stupid.
I grew up, I never saw a black person.
Oh, you never saw a black person growing
No,
up.
No.
I guess that makes sense.
We used to call them Negroes.
Okay.
Yeah. When these French people came over who had escaped the war, I think there was a dark person there.
Okay.
It was the first time I saw a black person. Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about, how did you meet Nick? How did you meet your husband?
I worked for these rich people.
Okay.
And when they sent these people over from GPs from Europe that were displaced from the war, they came over. She introduced me to him. And
What was her name again?
Anuta.
Anuta. That was
Yeah.
Nick's sister. Okay.
And then I said, well, I don't want to be a maid for these people. I want to be independent. I want to work for some. There was a office overload at that time.
Uh-huh.
Big deal, big thing.
Yeah.
Whenever there was extra work, they have to. We had these special machines.
Yeah.
You do all the calculations, and there was always two people. The other had to get the same results.
Okay. You were checking each other's work all the
Yeah,
time. That's
to
smart.
make sure you got the same.
Uh-huh.
Because I remember I worked for this company, Kara. They were catering to the airplanes.
Okay.
The meals to the airplanes.
Yeah.
And there was also meals on the railways.
Oh, right.
So we had to do the invoices for them,
So Anyuta, who's the woman who worked for the family that you worked
Yeah.
for, she introduced you to Nick, who's your husband.
Yeah.
How many children do you have? 5 of them?
Yeah.
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 That's pretty awesome. How did you take care of all the five children while you were working?
Well, that's why I asked Rita to come over. And my mother was so upset, she went to the priest and he wrote the letter. How can you send a person to this ungodly people like the Russians over here? Yeah, and I wanted her to come to look after the kids while I'm working.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how could you possibly take somebody from the best country in the world, Switzerland, and bring them to this evil country?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she eventually came over once.
Your mother did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
With the neighbor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she came over once.
That's awesome.
Well, she realized that the Russian has a church too. It was the Orthodox.
Yeah.
Russian Orthodox.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't so
They
bad.
had a religion too.
Okay.
They were all heathens.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share with people that you think is important for them to know besides be nice to people?
Oh.
Don't do war, you dummies. You do crossword puzzles every day, right? You watch Jeopardy, right? You're always using your brain.
We can do all kinds of things, yeah.
You're always continuing to learn.
Yeah, I always like to have a little bit. I like a challenge. I like crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
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 I'm a crossword puzzle addict.
You're a crossword puzzle addict. Big time. I know.
But you know what you learn?
Uh-uh.
The older you get, you learn how little you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
The older you get, you learn how little you know.
You got to learn all your life.
Yeah.
You never stop learning.
Yeah.
These people, they get Alzheimer and dementia. They can't function anymore.
Yeah. That's right. It's sad because they're not.
Mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to keep the brain going.
Yeah.
Speaking of keeping the brain going, you have a funny story. What's the story about the guy who went to the doctor? Tell me that story again. You know, the guy goes to the doctor and the doctor says...
Oh, yes. The doctor says, he says, you're okay now. But, your bad habits of all that smoking and drinking is killing you slowly. And the guy says, oh, that's no problem. I'm not in a hurry to die.
That's good.
Oh,
Nice.
and this guy went to the doctor and says, I don't know what's my problem. I eat like a horse. And the doctor says, well, a lot of people overeat. Oh, doctor, you don't know, but they eat straw, hay, oats growing on the plants there.
Uh-huh.
So the doctor started to scribble something. And he says, is there a medication for that? He says, no, I give you a license to poo on the road.
License to poo on the road.
On the road, yeah.
It's what everybody needs.
Because you eat like a horse.
Uh-huh.
The daughters do that.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so I asked all my podcast guests this question. I asked the question, it's a 2-part question. For you, Heidi, what is sacred and what is insane?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I never think about something I can't solve.
Okay.
I can't.
You never think about something you can't solve.
I don't worry about, these people. Oh, the water. Oh my God. Don't worry about things you can't change.
Don't worry about things you can't change. That's sacred.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's it.
Okay. And then what's insane? What do you think? For you, what's insane? If I say, that's insane, what do you think of?
That's crazy. You play Crazy Eights?
I do play Crazy Eights, actually, if you want to get nuts on it. I'm a killer at Crazy Eights.
Well,
that's what they call me. They not call me the floor cleaning Crazy Eight killer. That's
Crazy Eights,
that's my nickname.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, good.
Crazy or stupid, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
War is insane.
Yeah.
I think we've already kind of gone over that. That's good. All right, great. Well, thank you so much. I want to acknowledge you for being a very good elder.
Now you tell me your life story.
Okay, my life story. I was born I was born in Omaha, Nebraska.
Were you,
everyone.
were you born in
I was
Nebraska?
born on an ark.
You
And all right,
were.
there's an ark. A stork brought me on the porch. What's my story? You really want to
You're
know?
from Nebraska?
I'm from Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha.
So I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. I have 2 older sisters. I had 2 older sisters then. My dad was an attorney.
Attorney?
He was a lawyer. Yeah, he was a securities lawyer. My mom was a playwright and an actor and a singer. And I grew up in Omaha. It was beautiful. It was really nice. Very similar city to Toronto, actually.
Okay.
I think so. It's got a lot of. There's some older parts of Omaha, not quite as old as Toronto, but really nice people. A lot of corn,
Yeah,
eating corn.
yeah.
We grew a lot of corn out there in Nebraska, and it was a good upbringing. And then I moved out to L.A. Moved out to Los Angeles.
And why didn't you go to law school?
Because I didn't want to be a lawyer.
No.
No.
You know lawyers are liars.
Yeah, lawyers are liars. It's their
No.
job, really.
Well, listen.
Some of them.
If they
Not
talk,
all of them. My dad
but you know,
was not a
all
liar.
the politicians have to be lawyers
That's right.
because they wouldn't know how to talk.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
yeah.
right.
I didn't want to be a liar.
No, not the liar.
Thank you for raising my wife as your daughter.
Yeah.
She's a good egg.
She's very good.
She's a really good floor cleaner.
You're lucky to have her.
I am lucky to have her. You're
yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah.
You could have ended up.
She's beautiful, powerful,
You could have
smart.
ended up with the wrong person.
I could have ended up with a
You'd be
real
in bad
ditz.
shape.
I'd be in bad shape with ditzy Debbie down the street.
There
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Sorry, Debbie. I know one Debbie, and she's actually one of my favorite people. Anyway, can you say goodbye in all of the languages you know?
Well, we say ciao,
Ciao.
arrivederci,
Arrivederci.
hasta la vista,
Hasta la vista,
hasta
baby.
luego.
Hasta luego. Okay, that's
Oh, well, I
same
don't
language.
know.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Uh-huh.
Goodbye forever.
Goodbye forever.
Come
Wow.
back.
Come back.
Auf Wiedersehen means see you again.
See you again. Okay.
Yeah, like instead of hasta la vista, you say hasta luego.
Hasta luego, right.
See you again.
Choose. Choose.
Choose. Yeah, what about
yes,
choose?
Yeah.
Choose is good.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. It's a real pleasure to know Heidi Feodorov. And I got to tell her how happy I am that she raised such a great family, and my wife had the great privilege of being there with her when she passed into the next world. And just want to say, Heidi, we love you. We miss you. We're so glad that you were in our lives. I'm so glad that you gave birth to my wife and raised her and her brothers and sister, and we really appreciate you. So you will be missed. If you want to support this podcast, please go to patreon.com/lunacypodcast. See you next time. Much love.